welcome back to the review of the Shopper Image Dx-4 HD video streaming drone. I've had this drone for about a week and I think I've learned enough about it that I'm able to give a somewhat good review on it. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive in and see what we got here. Okay, this drone comes with 4 propellers, and it also has a extra set of propellers and screws that comes with it, and this remote control. I really like this remote control. It has a large base for holding, and it also has a support for your smartphone, and you'll have your direction trim, and you also have your auto orientation, and it also has a land button and a takeoff button. So once you pair this up, you turn your drone on, and then you turn your remote on, and you push up and then down, and you'll hear a beep. And once that's paired, then you'll have a choice of the speeds of your drone. You have high, medium, and low. I would suggest, if you never used a drone before, start out with the low setting and work your way up. It'll take probably about 3 or 4 days for you to get secure enough to be able to use that control. But and your direction trims, you'll be using those a lot, because this drone does not fare well in any kind of wind. It has to be pretty much a dead calm for this drone to, to get a halfway decent flight out of it. But anyway, let's look at the drone. Like I said, this drone has 4 propellers. Made by Shopper Image. On the bottom there's the power switch, and there's a little door here where the battery is. The battery is permanently installed, so I mean, you can change it out if it ever does go dead, but as cheap as these drones are, you'll probably just want to buy you a new one. Then you have the micro USB power port. The power cable that comes with this is sort of proprietary, because it has, on one end of it, it has a red LED light that in this area right here, that lights up when it's charging, and once it's finished charging, the light goes out. So I'm not sure if any micro USB will work. Maybe it has some kind of a chip or something in it that keeps it from overcharging. I'm not quite sure. It didn't say anything in the manual, so move forward at your own risk. And I thought this was a micro SD card slot, but it's not. It's just a place. It's probably for like the next level. It probably has a micro SD card slot, but this one does not. It relies on your phone to take the pictures and the video, which have no sound, by the way. On the front, you have the camera. It's a pretty decent camera. It doesn't take the best photos, and it says it's high definition streaming, but it didn't. It's a little fuzzy, and it cuts out intermittently, so I'm not sure exactly what that's all about. Maybe it's the one I got, or maybe it's just a flaw that's, with these cheaper drones. But it has lights on it. These are has white and in red, but these are pretty bright at night, so you can see those. But lately it's been really windy around here, so I haven't been able to fly it as much as I wanted to get a really accurate, flight patterns and stuff like that. If it had any kind of flaws once you got above a certain height or whatever, these edges are really resilient. You can bump in pretty much anything, and they just bounce right off. I've checked them every time that I've hit something, and I haven't cracked them yet. But they are removable once you become more of an expert on how to fly this. On the bottom you have little stoppers for landing, and they're somewhat spongy, so they absorb a lot of the shock when it hits the ground. Like I said, on the remote control, you have takeoff and then you have land. The takeoff works pretty well. When you hit that button, it'll shoot up probably about 3 foot off the ground, and it'll hover. but it starts to drift, so that's when you'll need your direction trims. You want to use those to get it back in line. Like I said, you don't want any wind because it'll make it really tough to adjust if you have any kind of wind or anything like that blowing it to the sides. But on the landing, whenever you hit that, it immediately comes down. It doesn't have any kind of proximity alert or anything like that. It just comes straight down. So make sure you have a good clear area for it to come down, or it'll just land right on top of something. But once it gets about within like 1.5 inches of the ground, it just cuts power and drops. So, but you don't have to worry about it because it's pretty flexible, and it'll just bounce right back. So you don't have to worry about it, tearing up or anything. The remote control takes 6 AA batteries. I got these at the Dollar Tree, and they sell a 4-pack at the Dollar Tree for $1. So, and they're really good batteries. They are alkaline. I first tried some batteries that were older. Don't mix them because they just seem like they drain a lot faster. So go ahead and go with fresh set. For $1, you can't. There's no reason in cheaping out on this. The top of it, where the antenna is, you have a space around the antenna, and there's also a screw hole so you can mount this phone holder. And it's only good for up to like 5.5 inches, and don't try to stretch it any further than that. I'd love to have it with an iPad, like an iPad mini. I think that would really be pretty nice. I had my iPad mini hooked up to it, and you get such a better, a clearer view, and I think that would be a whole lot better, but it would make it top heavy and would probably keep falling over. But the joysticks, they snap right back, so they're very responsive. So you only have to move them just a hair to get it to do anything that you want to do. As for the controls and everything like that, I would say probably on a scale from 1 to 10 of how accurate they are, I'd say you're probably about an 8. So you're going to have to really use the direction trims a lot. I hate to keep saying that, but I want you to understand that once you start using this, it's not going to set completely still for you. It's going to want to move from side to side. Even if there's no wind, it's going to want to take off and go its own way. And sometimes the direction of the drone doesn't feel the way that you're pushing or pushing the joysticks. I would suggest that you find the front of the drone and put some kind of like colored paint or something on the front rim. That way you always know which way the drone's actually pointing, which is going to make it a whole lot easier for you to figure out which way to maneuver it. Because once it starts getting so high, you're not going to be able to see where the camera's at because it's so small. And when it starts spinning, then the only thing that you can do is hit the land button and let it come back down. I would suggest before you get too high, don't go over 10-15 feet, because anything that high when you're first learning, it's gonna throw you, and it may just take off and you'll lose your drone. But I guess that's pretty much the end of the review. I can't think of anything else to tell you. I mean, the quality of the video is all right, and I think it's around 720. I mean, it says that it's 720, but it's not a good 720. But it is clear, and I think you'll have a lot of fun. If you have someone that has an iPad that they can hold while they're doing this, then you'll have a lot better experience, because it'll give you a clearer view of where you're at. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, it does come with a second set of blade propellers and some extra screws and stuff. And this part right here does have a screw that goes in the back of it, so it holds it on firm, so that's not going to fall off. But I'd say on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give this drone a 5. I know that sounds low, but there are drones out there that are much, much more expensive and much more stable, and this is something that you'll want to use when you're just starting out. It said that you can fly it indoors, but I wouldn't suggest that, because while it doesn't have any kind of proximity alerts or sensors, it seems like it wants to go straight for the ceiling every single time. And I'm not sure exactly why it does that. I couldn't read anything in the manual that would give me an indication, you know, like maybe it was air pressure. So I'm not sure exactly what it was. I don't even want to speculate, because I can't even, it doesn't make sense to me. I think it should fly better inside, but it seemed like it was harder to do. Oh, yeah, I did want to touch on one thing. On the top here, you have a button that says stunt. And I'm not sure if I'm doing it wrong, but I have tried for almost a week. I cannot get it to do a stunt worth anything. I mean, it doesn't do anything. I mean, I've read the manual, and I pushed the button, I've held it down, it won't do it. It will not flip. It's supposed to be hovering in midair, and then it's supposed to flip over and then come back. It doesn't do that. I don't know why. I've seen some videos of other people, and it did it for them. Maybe I have a faulty unit. I don't know, but it won't work. Anyway, that's my review of the Sharper Image Dx-4 HD video streaming drone. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please thumbs up and subscribe. And as always, we will see you soon.